everybody! I'm here today to talk to you about the vehicle controls, and I'll specifically be going over everything that you need to know about the controls of the vehicle. So I actually have the camera in my hand right now, and I'm going to be starting at one end of the car and working my way around the vehicle to show you and tell you everything about the controls of the vehicle. First and foremost, and I'll try and nail everything that I remember from the top of my head, and basically everything that you'll see in most cars that you'll be driving. Let's start off with the steering wheel. Obviously, we have the steering wheel right here, and if you turn it clockwise, the wheels of the car are going to be going right, and it's going to have a locking point, okay? Meaning it can't go any further right. If I turn it counterclockwise, it's going to go left. Okay, once again, it's going to have a locking point, just like that. It can't turn any further left. And obviously, if you go in the middle of both locking points, which is right here, it's going to be centered. Now, as a rule of thumb with most cars, if you steer all the way to the left or to the right, and then you go 1.5 turns back towards the center, your wheels are going to be straight with most cars. This is not the case with all cars, but it is with most cars. On the steering wheel, you're going to have various controls. On this car, we have all of your Bluetooth functions, and you also have the radio controls, and then you have your cruise controls over here. Your controls for your cruise control, aka your cruise control controls. They're over here, okay? You're going to learn how to use those with each car individually, because it's going to be different on every car. If you look at the lever to the left of the steering wheel, this lever right here is going to control your signals. If you push it upwards, it signals right, downwards signals left, in the middle cancels it out, and it's going to also control your headlights on most cars, okay? So you can see right here I have auto, okay, I can turn them off, and then there are various other options right here, and I can also use my high beams like that. I can flick them or I can turn them on or off, just like that. On some cars, your lighting control is going to be on the left as a knob, but in most cars, it's going to be on that right there, okay? Now, if you look at the lever to the right of the steering wheel, on most cars, this is going to be your windshield wiper controls. So if I pull it back, you can see right here, I can actually spray the windshield and it's going to automatically wipe, but I can also turn the wipers on at different intervals just by moving this lever right over here. Very simple. And if your car has a rear windshield wiper like I have in my SUV, in my Honda CR-V, then you're probably going to have an extra lever to control it over here. But this car doesn't have one, so it doesn't have that. Obviously, your ignition is going to be over here to the side. This one has a key. In most modern cars, it's going to have a push button that you can use, okay? If you look at the bottom over here, hopefully the camera will light up. There we go. If you look at the bottom, you're going to have 2 or 3 pedals. If it's an automatic car, you're going to have 2 pedals, okay? Which is on the right, it's going to be a gas pedal or an accelerator. If you push it, as you can hear with this car with the nice broken exhaust, there's a hole in the exhaust, that's why it's nice and loud. I mean, I'm gonna get it fixed, but for now I really like the sound of it. My mechanic is gonna be available in a couple weeks, so he's gonna fix it up for me, hopefully. But it will accelerate, meaning move forward and move backwards. The pedal right here is gonna be the brake pedal, which obviously slows the car down and potentially brings it to a stop. And if you're driving a manual car, you're gonna have another pedal over here, which is going to be the clutch pedal. Now let's bring the camera back up, and we've gone over everything here, okay? Now you're gonna have your mirror controls on the driver's side door panel. You're also going to have the window controls to open and close the windows, just like that. If it has an auto label, then you push it and you let go, and it should be able to automatically go down and go up. And you're also going to have your lock controls as well, which are over here. Now, in every car, it's going to be different. But in most cars, your main controls are going to be on the door panel. Some cars have it in the center console, okay? So, moving up over here, this is the main, basically, in-car entertainment for this car, which is going to be your radio, your like DVD player, Blu-ray player nowadays, your navigation. Like, this car just has a radio and Bluetooth. But, you know, if you have a more modern car, it's probably going to have all of those things. And I'm not going to go over each thing individually because every car is going to be different. But generally speaking, look at the owner's manual and you're going to figure out how all of these operate, okay? And like I said, every car is different. Now, for your climate control over here, as you can see right here, in this car it has 3 knobs. In most cars, it's going to have 3 different controls. Sorry about that. I'm just fighting this cold over here. But I'm making these videos for you, even though I have a cold. So hopefully you appreciate all of this. But you're essentially going to have, and I definitely appreciate you viewing the video. So hopefully you appreciate the fact that I'm making them. You're going to have 3 main knobs for the most part. One's going to control the temperature, okay? Another one's going to control the fan speed. Another one's going to control where the air is coming out of. You can see the labels here. It's pretty straightforward. You might have some additional buttons, air conditioning, the recirculation of the air, and then also the rear defogger. But generally speaking, most cars, if they don't have automatic climate control, are going to have like this type of knob setting right here. If your car does have climate control, which is awesome, like I said, in my other car, in my Honda CR-V, in mine and my wife's SUV, we have climate control, and it's more of a digital type of thing, fewer buttons, more digital, but essentially the idea is going to be the same, where you're going to have different settings, different fan speeds, and a different temperature setting. But with climate control, you get to actually set the temperature. Over here, you have your gear shifter. Now, this is an automatic car. If your car is manual, you're going to have a gear selector, you know, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, reverse, maybe seventh if it's like a nice new sporty car. But this is an automatic car. If you want to shift, obviously out of park, you put your foot on the brake and you can shift into whichever gear you please. Very simple. This one also has a manual mode, so if I pull it to the left here and drive, my foot is still on the brake, obviously, because I don't want to go anywhere because I'm parked in a parking spot. It's going to allow me to shift gears. So if I'm in manual mode, you can see over here it says M for manual mode, and the 1 is for the first gear. You know, and your car might have this option. I personally like to drive it like this, but if you want to just go regular, just put it in drive. You can look over here, most likely on your gauge cluster for which gear it's in, and you can drive away. Okay, I'm putting it back in park, making sure I don't go anywhere. And this is the emergency brake, otherwise known as the parking brake. Now my foot's on the brake as well, because I don't want the car to roll back a little bit, because then that places a little bit of pressure on the parking mechanism, which I don't want to ruin. So essentially with the emergency brake, what you want to do to release it is push the button while pulling up, hold the button and let it go. And when you want to set the emergency brake, you just crank it up like that. Now, in modern cars, it might have an electronic parking brake, which is, like I said, I know I keep saying this, but in my CR-V, in my new SUV, I have an electronic parking brake, or in some bigger vehicles, it might even have the parking brake over here, okay? Also, on a side note, before I forget, you also have these controls over here, which are to release various things. Sorry about that. Gotta get rid of this cold. But basically, like, this one is to release the gas cap, this one is to release the trunk lid, and there's also one over here which is to release the actual hood of the car. Sorry about that loud noise over there. But basically, that's everything that you need to know about the vehicle controls of the car, okay? I tried to go over everything, and every car is different, but for the most part, this is the vehicle controls of the car that you should be knowing about. And that's it. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.